So for those of you who've been watching my videos this week, we've been on what can only be described an odyssey of idiocy when it comes to charging. Back on Sunday, I put out a video entitled Fast Charging, the simple fact EV zealots always forget, which looked at the way that the media latches on to batteries that can charge in 5 minutes, but conveniently forgets the fact that you actually have to get the power, and the amount of power required to charge these batteries at that speed is ridiculous. I've talked about the charging conundrum, which is where if you want to charge a battery twice as fast, you need twice the power. So half the time, twice the power. Yesterday I put out a video entitled Gridlock 15-year wait for truck charging points, and if you look at HGV trucks, you can multiply all the problems that EV passenger cars have by about a factor of 10, because the batteries in those EV trucks are about 10 times the size of those in a regular passenger car, and you'll need 10 times the electricity to charge them. In yesterday's example, I think we'd got up to about 4 megawatts of power required to charge one of these trucks in a reasonable 15-minute time, which is being generous. And we've come to the end of the week and we've reached peak idiocy for electrification, and that is ferries. Yes, ferries. The size of the batteries is absolutely insane. We are talking about 60 to 70 megawatt hours. Now that is 1,000 EV batteries. 1,000 EV batteries to power a ferry. And the amount of electricity to charge these things is insane. As we'll see from these articles, it's something around 30 to 40 megawatts of power, which is 10 times what it takes to charge an HGV truck in 15 minutes, but with a ferry it will still take you 2 hours. These electrification solutions that they're proposing are just not scalable. Let's look back at the article from 2021 when the Stena electric ferry was announced with all the fanfare you'd expect. Stena Line signs deal to launch 2 battery-powered ferries by 2030. With a length of around 200 meters, these ferries will be able to carry between 1,000 and 1,500 passengers. Stena Line, Friedrichshafen Municipality and the Port of Friedrichshafen have signed an agreement committing to the necessary investments for the launch of 2 battery-powered Stena Electra vessels by 2030. The parties will work together to make Gothenburg-Friedrichshafen the world's first fossil fuel-free ferry line of its kind. With a length of around 200 meters, the 2 RoPax, which is roll-on passenger ferries, will have the capacity for nearly 3,000 lane meters of vehicles. Said to be the world's first fossil fuel-free RoPax vessels of their size, these ferries will be able to accommodate between 1,000 and 1,500 passengers. This is the juicy bit. They will have a battery capacity of 60 to 70 megawatt hours and require a high-voltage shore power cable of around 30 to 40 megawatts. The latest collaboration will also include the development of onshore infrastructure, including sustainable charging facilities. Yeah, good luck finding 30 to 40 megawatts of sustainable power just lying around. Port of Friedrichshafen CEO Mikkel Seedorf Sorensen said the Port of Friedrichshafen shares the high and green ambitions that make this project possible. The city has also shown that it has a unique capacity for change in its DNA, which is evident not least in its sustainability work. When we are now taking steps towards making the Gothenburg-Friedrichshafen line completely independent of fossil fuels, except for the electricity generation, is not only positive for us, but for the entire Kattegat region. Just a quick sanity check here that the route between Friedrichshafen and Gothenburg is about 100 kilometers, which is probably one of the shortest ferry routes in the world, apart from the English Channel. And despite that, they've abandoned plans for these electric ferries. Can you guess why? Might it be that there's not enough electricity? Well, let's find out, shall we? Stena Line stops electric ferry plans. Takes too long to get electricity grid. Stena Line's billion-kroner project with fossil-free electric ferries between Sweden and Denmark is put on hold. The reason is mainly long waiting times for electricity grid connection, reports DI. The world's first fossil-free ferry lines were supposed to be in place by 2030, but that does not seem to be the case. Stena Line's planned investment of about 3 billion Swedish krona in 2 new electric ferries between Gothenburg and Frederikshavn is stopped until further notice, reports Dagens Industri. The most important reason is that it is unfortunately expected to take too long to get access to an electricity grid connection to be able to charge fully electric ships quickly enough, says Johan Lever, press officer at Stena Line to DI. The planned ships, which would be called Stena Electra, were intended to be 200 metres long with room for over 1,000 passengers. The project was an important part of the shipping company's goal of reducing climate emissions by 30% by 2030. Stena Line continues its sustainability work but with a different focus. The shipping company has ordered new vessels for the Irish Sea with multi-hybrid solutions that can be powered by batteries, biofuel and renewable e-methanol, and probably a freaking huge diesel engine. We are also working on developing several other new ship concepts for hybrid ferries that can be powered by a combination of batteries, sails and, among other things, diesel, renewable fuels, and which we hope to be able to order in the future, says Johan Lever to DI. He states to the newspaper that the vision of all electric ferries will become a reality in some form, but that there is currently no timetable for it. Can you believe it? We have reached peak idiocy. It's taken them this long to work out that they're not going to be able to get a grid connection on the dock of 30 to 40 megawatts just lying around, and that it actually might be a little bit tricky. Seriously, the insanity of all this just boggles the mind. These kind of projects would not normally get past the stage of a junior school science project. But because there's so much green money fire hosed at projects like this, they just get signed off. Yeah, go and build a ship that's got 60 or 70 megawatt hour batteries and needs 30 to 40 megawatts to charge. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Just go for it. It's fine. Someone else is paying. Yes, that someone else is the poor, long-suffering taxpayer who is having to subsidize these fanciful projects which have no hope of succeeding. Anyone with a basic understanding of physics or engineering would have worked this out immediately. But because it's all run by environmentalists and greenies who know nothing about either of those things, then yeah, just go for your life. Let's see how much money we can waste building a ferry that's never going to work. Well, I tell you one thing, it won't be the last time that a project like this is mugged by reality. If you want to support this channel and help me continue to make these videos, why not buy me a coffee? Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen.